You're listening to The Beat 139, Harlem's #1 podcast, featuring Doc, Don Vito, and Keith Cash.
139.
What's happening?
Yeah,
Wednesday.
what's good? Happy Wednesday. How y'all doing?
Wednesday is still a summertime. And it's a little cool out there, but it's feeling very good, man. What's up, Doc? How you doing today, brother?
Good, ain't nothing. Everything going good. We having a good week.
Very good week.
So there's a lot of things going on with us. The Beat 139 on Friday, we will be getting an award. So if y'all want to come show some love, come out to the State Building, 125th Street and 7th Avenue at 2 o'clock. It's a boxing event. So y'all could definitely come out, show some support.
Okay, now I'm Don Vito, voice for the peoples. How y'all doing?
Doc, shake the block.
So we want to introduce our first guest. He's go by the name of KB. What up, K?
What's going on? Happy
What's
to
up,
be
brother?
here.
How you doing, brother?
Doing great.
How's life treating you?
It's a blessing, man.
Okay.
Can't complain.
So where you from, my brother?
I'm from Queens.
Queens. What
Yeah.
part of Queens?
Jamaica, Queens.
Jamaica, Queens. No, every time I ask somebody where they from, everybody lately we have been from Jamaica, South Side.
South
Yeah.
Side.
For sure. Southside.
Queens get the money.
For sure.
So how was life growing up in South Side?
It was very interesting. Very interesting. Very active, but basketball kept me off the way.
What you mean active, man? Talk to the viewers, man. They already
It
know.
was a lot of drug activity,
Uh-huh.
a lot of gang violence, but basketball kept me busy. So
Right.
shout out to that and being good in school. So that definitely helped.
Okay.
So you play like league? You play like not Gauchos. Who's in Queens? It's big league in Queens is what's the name at?
IS8 is definitely the home of Queens where the big tournaments is at.
Mm-hmm.
So I started playing basketball at 8 Almighty Force and
Almighty Force.
yeah, Ajax Park.
Ajax Park.
Yeah.
So how would you use nice? Nice.
Yeah, no, it was nice. I had to work on my confidence, so that's what always got me. My
So if
coach.
you wasn't nice, would you say it?
Yeah, I would say
Everybody always talk about
they
they
nice.
I just want to know if you wasn't nice. I'm just messing with you, man. But there's a lot of good ball players came out of Queens, man. Right down.
It's a lot of good ball.
His name,
players.
give me five.
Yeah, Kenny Anderson.
That's one,
Kenny Smith.
Two,
Mark Jackson.
three,
Chris Mullen.
4,
Ron Artest.
5.
Rafer Austin.
crazy. Queens is tough, right? And all the names you named went to the NBA. He went pro.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
That's 100%. We talked that rucker stuff, but a lot of dudes out of Queens, man, they put that work in for real. So South Side. So you ever ran across the guy by the name of 50 Cent in
Nah.
back in them days?
Not in
You
person.
was a little dude at that time.
Yeah, I was definitely a little dude.
50 much older than him.
I know that's what I'm saying though, but I mean, you can still see him coming through the
Yeah,
block and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I ain't seen him come through my block.
Nah,
Nah.
he's before
Yeah.
he even blew,
Yeah,
his
nah,
name
for
was
sure.
ringing a bell.
I think he a little further because 50 on 134th and got Brewer.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was on Rockaway 135.
Yeah.
It's on the other side.
Yeah.
Like a little
Yeah, a
distance.
little on the side, like 5-10 minutes.
So what made you get interested in basketball?
I actually started with football,
Okay.
and I ain't like it. My mother made me play, but basketball, I just figured they made more money, and you actually can have a personal brand. You
Right.
can see their face, so
Uh-huh.
that's why I took it like
So
basketball.
they can see they
So you was,
face,
into,
helmet on.
you was into Brandon early.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the thing you could like. The thing with basketball is a difference because you go to a club, you know the basketball players. Football players, you don't know them unless they like the star players.
Yeah, so that's
you
why
won't
they.
know them. They can sit in the club, you would not know who they is
Yes,
unless you really deep into football. But like an average Joe Blow fan, like basketball, even the guys we ain't even talk about the Durants and them, even like the lower level guys, even like a Josh Hart. People are like, that's Josh Hart right there.
Yeah.
You know,
But see, football they got a lot of players.
they
You
have
know
a
what
lot
I'm saying?
of
So
players. And
some
they
of
got
them
their
ain't get in the
helmet on.
game and they be on the sidelines. You never get to see
Then
them.
they got that helmet, and
Yeah.
then,
So what you ain't like about football?
Get hit for sure. I ain't gonna lie about that. But yeah, I actually wanted to play wide receiver, but they never threw the ball in junior peewees. So I was like, nah, I
They
did
ain't throw the ball.
Nah, they
so
ain't
what
throw
you was doing?
running.
running and blocking. So
That's
they
crazy.
Yeah, so at that age, they didn't throw the ball. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna quit this.
Yeah.
And then I went to
So
basketball.
you said your moms want you to play.
Yeah. she thought it was gonna help me be tougher, but
Oh.
it just made me smarter.
Oh, so she wants you to be tough.
Yeah.
Like some moms like that, man. My son is gonna be.
But some put
You
you
the only-
football,
you the
some
only
put you in
son?
boxing,
You the
stuff
only
Nah, I
like
got an
that.
older brother, so
Oh,
fighting him helped a lot.
yeah. That's good. She's like, man.
So how long you play ball?
I played all the way up to high school. Yeah, all the way to high school, and that was pretty much it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just went into business early.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always me and my boy. We was always cleaning yards, selling bikes,
Mm-hmm.
whatever we could do to make some money
Right.
the legal way. So
Mhm.
that was our thing. It's like, yo, we gonna work for it. We pass out flyers. I tried to actually work at 12, but I learned that you got to be 14. I tried to get a worker's permit. So I was one of those people where it's like, if I see my mother, struggling or whatever,
Mhm.
I want to at least try to help out or at least try to provide my way.
Mm-hmm.
So that it was always in me, the entrepreneurship.
Well, that's what's up.
At
So-
an early age, you don't really see that early. Now you see more guys now getting into entrepreneurship because the internet, and so they get more information compared to like when you was growing up.
Yeah. No.
Was your dad around?
He passed when I was 5.
Okay, God bless
Yeah.
you. Dad. God bless.
So one thing he did say though before he was going that, from what I remember, is he had his rough hands.
Mhm.
He was a truck driver, and he was like, "You see his hands? I don't want you to have them. So whatever you can do, make sure you don't have hands like me." And I took that. I remember that more than anything, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna work smarter, not harder."
Yeah, you want to say that. Yeah. So you shifted from basketball and you went into business. So you say you was selling bikes or what else?
Yeah, I was selling bikes when we was younger, and then when I got older, we were just working, cleaning people's yards. In the high school, my boy introduced me to eBay,
Mm-hmm.
and that changed the game for me because to be in class and get an email from PayPal say you just made $400,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I like this feeling. I can see myself doing this. So I was selling Louis belts, Jordans, any sneakers I get my hands on. So a lot of the rich kids was my big customers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, rich kids in your school.
Yeah, because a part of Queens, Laurelton is a good part of Queens,
Mhm.
and that's like middle class, but we call them rich kids. But
Yeah.
their parents used to buy them sneakers and clothes all the time, and after 2 or 3 weeks, they don't want to wear them no more. So I'm like, yo, I sell it to you, bro. Like, give me 30% after shipping and the fees, then you keep the rest. So they like, all right, they getting free money because they didn't work for it,
Yeah.
and I get to sell. So we was running Monopoly before we knew what a Monopoly was in high school.
So your friend, y'all still cool to this day?
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my guy. I met. It's been 20 some years now.
And he into the same thing you into?
Yeah, well, he actually is a business coach.
A business?
Yeah, he does the coaching. So when I help my clients, I send it to them after. So
Mhm.
we still working together. We still running it up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you went to college?
Yeah, I stopped by. I did one semester at St. John's for marketing.
Uh-huh.
And the reason I left because as talking to the professor, I'm like, yo, when we gonna learn about marketing? He was like, well, you gotta take your BS courses, maybe junior, senior year, you'll get into it. And I started doing the math. I'm like, I'm gonna be in 80, 100K debt. He was like,
Mhm.
yeah, but you get a 40K job and you paid off. And I said, nah, it's not making sense to me.
Right.
So I went to the admissions office. I didn't tell my mother. I just dropped out, and it was scary, but I was like, nah, I could figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, I found training, personal training.
Personal training.
Yeah,
Okay, so how long you did that?
I did personal training for 10 years.
Mm.
So I retired in the end of 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and that came about from a high school friend because at a time where I only had 2 jobs in my life. So the last job I had was at a school, and they let me go after a month
Mm-hmm.
due to budget cuts. So that was like my first hit of the real world. And I'm like, I don't want to work for nobody no more.
Mm-hmm.
And they was, my family was like, yo, this what happens. You just find another job. So I was looking for other work, but nobody was hiring me. My dream job was to work at Foot Locker, but they
Mhm.
never hired me. So I was just working out, just stressed out, going for runs, doing a lot of cardio first. And then I used to take my sister call when she sleep. I go to Planet Fitness because it's 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll put just enough gas back in the car so she won't notice. And then I was helping my friend, and she was like, yo, what about my butt and my thighs? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just know basketball workouts, how to lift, get your arms pumped.
Mhm.
And she kept asking me for like a couple months. I'm like, all right, if I'm going to show you something, let me at least learn it and do it with you.
Right.
So 3 or 4 months later, her body changed.
Oh, so
And-
you learned like what she had to do for
yeah. So I was on YouTube. I was reading, trying to figure out workouts that she can do. And when her body changed, it was like a red light bulb hit. And her cousin was like, "I'll pay you." I'm like, "Pay me for what?" She was like, "You help me like you help my cousin." And I'm like, "All right, I'm broke right now. I don't have a job, and I love fitness, so let me just put this together." And from there, I just created Instagram, started putting it out there, and never looked back.
So you was getting a lot of clients like that?
Yeah, that's how I got a lot of my clients from networking from people from high school.
That's crazy to have people look forward to having a trainer because they feel they can't do it by themselves.
Yeah. And a lot of people, they need that confidence, that support. So that's where it really is the money is at.
So how you did your pricing? You looked it up, like what trainers charge? Or
No,
you
it's funny you said that.
learned-
I had crackhead prices. I was charging $6 a session. And
$6?
yeah. And the only reason I did that, because I wanted to make sure I was good first. So I was like, let me just get people in the door. Let me just charge
$6 an hour.
Yeah, $6 an hour.
Wow.
So I was only thinking about I was only thinking about my sister's car. So I was only thinking about putting gas back.
Oh, $6
Okay,
for gas.
Yeah. So that's how I looked at it. And then as I started building it up, then I started increasing my price a little bit more. And that's when I started learning like people gonna pay for what they want, which is the results.
Right.
So yeah, that's how literally how it started. And I was an Uber trainer, so I was to pick people up and drop them off because I wanted to get the result.
Right. Yeah, you know what? That's sweat equity, man. Because you wasn't getting no money.
Yeah, no.
You know, that's a hell of a story. Because I've been training for 30 years, man. I done did it all, man. I'm not even gonna get into it because that's a long story. But $6, damn, man, you ain't even getting minimum wage.
$6 an hour? But he probably had a lot of clientele though.
That's what I'm saying. He should have lines around the corner with $6, my guy. You know what I'm saying?
And the
I
best way
would
to do that, I'm training all you at the one time.
like a group session.
A group session.
Yeah, you
That's
got a
all
little
y'all
more bread. But you know what, though? God molded you.
For sure.
He was taking you through a course. You understand what I'm saying? Of being humble and really doing it for the passion in the love of it. And then now, we're going to get into what you do today. But it was like your low, because you went to school, you learned marketing.
Yeah.
You got the marketing. Became a trainer. You way underpaid, but you're learning the people skills. You're learning business. You're learning, being punctual. Because when you got a client, you got to be punctual. You're learning a lot of forms that help you run a business. You know what I'm saying? And then, so where did you go after that? What was your next step?
After training, training really took off for me in about 2016, 2017. And then I created my app. So I have my app in 2018.
You got a fitness app.
Yeah.
What's the name of the app?
It's called Team KB app.
Team KBF.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that? Check his app out. Team KBF.
Yeah. So I was marketing and pushing that. And it was tough because at that time, nobody was doing virtual training. And when it came down to it, I was like, yo, if I could just get 1 or 2 people on here, just because my thing is being that I trained in schools and I trained in churches, I didn't really train into a gym until 2018. So I wanted to help my clients because if school wasn't in session, I wasn't able to train. So I used to send them homework. So I wasn't even looking at it from a way to scale. I was just looking at it to help people that can't physically be there. And I just kept testing out different workouts on my clients. And then 2018, when I had it, nobody was really on it. Like I dropped it at the end of the year. In 2019, that's when I really was pushing it. And then everybody knows 2020, that's when COVID came about. So I was already prepared for that type of wave.
With the virtual.
Yeah, with the virtual. And when that happened, I said, you know what? I'm going to drop my price to get everybody on here because I was charging like $50 a month subscription. And I'm like, I'm going to drop it to $20. So this way, by the time this is over with, I'll have more transformations than any trainer here or in Queens. And it was a good strategy and it was dope because I had literally everybody on there, like within my circle, within the radius, and they was getting the results. And 2020, 21, people was getting better results virtually than in person. And that's when I'm like, yo, there's a lot more out there. I made more money, 6 figures on the app. And people I never even touched before. So it was actually pretty dope to see that, pivoting is definitely, part of entrepreneurship for sure. You want to be ready before the curve.
So you said was you doing group sections or just one?
Yeah, so I only train group. That was my main thing, group sessions.
How many in the group?
During COVID?
Yeah, during COVID. I didn't train like the first 2 months of COVID. I didn't start training till like July. So that COVID year was crazy because I had people pay me up front. So I went from the $6 trainer to almost like $1,000 a month training.
Mm-hmm.
So when it came down to, and I learned that through marketing and presenting my value.
Mm-hmm.
But when people paid me up front in March, I didn't get no new payments till August
Mm-hmm.
because I owe everybody time.
Right.
Yeah.
So when that came about, I'm like, all right, I'm just putting the work, and it made me think of those $6 days.
Right.
But it's like, let me just serve my clients. And I was good at saving, always putting money to the side, so I was good. But it made me realize, like, all right, when this is over, how are you going to present yourself? So I went from training 6 people per session to 4 people, and I made more money doing it that way, and I got better results.
That's cool. So what, you had them on Zoom?
No, I had them through my app.
Through your app.
So the app, basically they work on their own. It's a step-by-step plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was on person, I just trained 4 people at a time. And then eventually that turned into a big community. So I built a brand around my fitness.
Right.
And as me building a brand, I was doing Zoom calls with my clients.
Uh-huh.
So, and I noticed, because I can give you the perfect workout plan, but what's going to make you actually do it is
Mhm.
either your mentality is going, or your finances is playing a role.
Mm-hmm.
So when I used to do these Zoom calls, it's a lot of things I can't explain as a man that other women can explain to other women, as far as, being a mother, going through these certain, withdrawals and everything else. So they used to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed how much of a community that it was helping. And when that came about, the results increased. So every Monday we doing Zoom calls as a trainer. And then I always brought on whatever resources I had. So I literally brought on my brother, who's in real estate. He's a loan officer. To show them how to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
I brought on my financial advisor to talk about long-term, planning and life insurance. And then I brought on this guy to talk about credit.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's talking about credit, he's talking about traveling for free and using your points and rewards. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of backed up. I ain't go on many vacations at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I took heed to it. And after the Zoom call, I'm like, yo, bro, I want to know more about that. And he showed me. He's like, yo, I could show you everything. You just take my mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, I took his mentorship, changed my life. And he was like, you could go back and help those same clients get in shape, but also help them with their finances.
Mm.
So it went from training in fitness to training in finances.
So you're doing both.
Yeah, I was doing both at a point in time.
But you know what's good about that? Because you built a certain clientele with the fitness, and at the same time, you already got people, because you need the people in order to be able to deliver the message about, the financial thing you was talking about, or real estate, whatever case may be. So that was an avenue of bringing them in. That's all right. And you already had a clientele already.
Yeah. So a lot of my clients knew me for being a serial entrepreneur, because as I was a trainer, I was modeling,
Mhm.
I was acting, I got signed to an agency, I got some stuff on Tubi. I was always doing multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
And also my give back, called Feeding the City. We give out food to the homeless on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So they always know me for doing more than just training. However, when it came a point in time in 2022, I was just like, I know I want to give this my all, because I'm always split from everything else with fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when it came down to credit and business funding, you deal with somebody's finance, you could really either set them up for life or make it worse for their life.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I got to take a step back. And it kind of shocked the world, because they're like, yo, why are you training and you doing well? And be honest, that was the most money I ever made. And to walk away from it because I care about fulfillment or getting something bigger was probably the scariest point in my life.
So with the acting, how'd you get into that? And what year you got into that?
So everything kind of stemmed from training. So that came about from me doing my give back. So doing my give back, we give out food and plates to the homeless on Thanksgiving, but I didn't know anybody that had actual trays, but I knew this restaurant owner. So his name, Luke Stevens, owner of Vibes in Queens.
Luke Stevens?
Yeah.
He was on the show.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, that's my guy. So I hit him, and he was the only person that actually responded. He's like, yeah, I got you. So he dropped off some trays. Now, I know Luke history, so he called me back a year later and was like, I need a favor. And I'm like, what you mean you need a favor? Like, what's going on? He's like, yo, I need you to be in my movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, you got the physique. You can be in a movie, you know how to read. I'm like, yeah, I know how to read. So that's how I got into the acting. And then from there, that took on, and I also was doing more modeling because one of my clients was a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things happen from fitness being the cornerstone of everything.
So you got the modeling and fitness at the same, modeling and the movies at the same time, pretty much?
Yeah, and then that transitioned to real estate in 2017 because my brother was like, yo, if you're a realtor, I could be the loan officer, so we could work together.
Mm.
So I just took the test. So I was always doing more than one thing.
Right.
And that's where it was like, all right, yo, KB's always doing something. It's always the people are like, how you know me? And it's like, all right, it might be from 4 different ways.
Mhm.
However, when it came down to the business fund, I said, you know what, I'm gonna give this my all, and I'm gonna take a step back from everything.
Right.
And that's the decision I had to make in end of 2022.
So the exact lane to let the viewers know right now is what?
Business funding right now.
Business funding.
Yes.
So you have a location, or you do it from online or something like that?
Yeah, everything's online. I do it in my home office.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty of it too, because I'm used to going to the gym all the time, meeting people, and I could literally just work from home or from the laptop or work from anywhere.
So I hear you talk about your brother a lot. That's good that y'all brothers and y'all into business together. Always, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure everybody here who have like kids, you want your kids to be close, and especially when they come to own business, like a family business and things like that. Y'all close in age?
Yeah, he got me by 5 years.
Okay.
5 years, yeah.
And I heard you said you had a sister.
Yeah, older sister.
So
So
to business also?
nah, well, she's getting into now, but she took the educational route, so she's a doctor. So
wow.
yeah. So that was dope. So I seen her, what she was going through. I'm like, I don't want to do that many papers. Like that was my thing. I was always studying, being an observer, being the youngest. But yeah, she's doing her thing too.
Oh, that's big. So so how y'all structure it now? Like y'all have your own company, so all y'all do it out the house?
Yeah, well, nah, my brother, he works for United Mortgages, so he's a VP at his branch. So he's basically, he don't be home. He be joking about me like, yo, how you just on a robo day? Because he think I be chilling, but I'm like, yo, I'm really working.
Yeah.
So I be on Zoom calls. That's pretty much how my work go. So what I do is I help people leverage their credit so they can invest more into their business,
Right.
and help them scale.
Right.
So when it comes down to it, I show them exactly what they need and get them prepared for the bank so they could go get 50 to 100,000 within 30 days.
So how did it start? When a person comes in, contacts you, what's the first pieces of information you need for them to get them started?
So the first thing we do is look over their credit report. So we use Experian. We check out their credit report, and we see exactly where they at, their data points, what's their utilization, what's their history. And then from there, we basically analyze like, all right, you need to do this. You need to pay down this card. We got to remove these inquiries. Or, if they need credit repair, then I send them to my credit repair team, and the credit repair team fix them up and bring them back to me. And then we also, besides just the business fund, I also take the extra step and really figure out if they're going to make money on their investment. So I specialize with the beauty industry, but I do help fund other businesses outside of the industry. And the reason I chose the beauty industry because a lot of my clients from training were nail techs, makeup artists, estheticians, and they used to tell me about their problems. So a lot of times with them, they're very crafty, but they don't really understand the business. They don't understand how to create systems, and more than anything in our community, we don't know how to trust other people. So everybody say, my baby's my business. I don't trust nobody. So I really try to attack the mentality to learn, like, if you really want to scale, you're going to have to build a team.
Right. 100%. Team is very important in any business because, in order to grow, you have to have people that take care of certain things. You can't do everything by yourself.
Sure.
You can take it but so far, but then you're gonna be stuck.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to see any people that's going like on a larger scale of business, they're not going to take you serious if you don't have a team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So all right. So how many clients do you have so far, or right now, if you could say?
Well, pretty much, like, I service them and then I go them on their way. So I don't retain the clients. If anything, I send to my boy for if they want ongoing coaching. So like right now I'm dealing with 5 or 6 people at a time.
Right.
And then I have different partners that have, 10 to 20 people. So I overlook their files and make sure they get approved. So yeah, it's been dope because I serve a lot of Black businesses. So we did 10 million in the last 2 years funded. So
Okay.
appreciate it.
That ain't light.
yeah.
Okay.
And that's to do with credit cards and lines of credit. And we also just try to figure out exactly what they need. So some people, the average is like 50 to 100,000. And when they get the capital, it allows them to, one, they could think a little bit clearer about the decisions that they're making. They don't have to use their personal funds.
Right.
So a lot of people use their personal funds when they start their business, and then they max out their cards. And now your credit is dropping 60 points.
Right.
And it's very hard for you to make that bigger move. So because you don't have the capital. So when I first tell people about it, because it's being more known now, but it's like, yo, how you gonna give me 50 to 100,000? I'm like, we could do it in a week, but I just tell people 30 days because I don't want to make them look like it's crazy or a scam. But everything's legit. My company, I'm partnered with Chase. So it's
Partnered with Chase.
Yeah, JP Morgan.
So how did you get with Chase?
Actually, just relationships. So I actually knew one of the managers there. We actually met a long time ago, and she just kept following me what I do. And she hit me up one day. She's like, I love what you're doing for the community. So I do, a lot of career days. I try to speak to the youth as much as possible if I can. And she was like, let's connect. And then we started talking, and I realized she was like, well, I help business owners get capital as well. And it just meshed. So a lot of my stuff is relationships and networking.
And all that, back to what I was saying, when you was getting that $6 an hour.
Yeah.
Right? That $6 an hour was training from God. Because God already know you going over there, but you don't know that.
Facts.
But if he showed it to you too fast, then you ain't gonna have faith. You right? Yeah. So he take you through the baby steps and see how you gonna react to it. And he see you took it like a champ, like he wanted you to. So now, boom, all these doors is open and stuff like that. So all that meant something in the beginning, but you didn't. Now you can see the rewards of you, because I was a struggling trainer at $6 an hour.
Yeah, it was a struggle. I had to change that after a couple months. I'm like, I need more money. Everybody in my house said, you ain't making no money. I said, all right. Man.
And so, young brother right here, black entrepreneur, we brought him on the show because, times have changed from, back in the days till now, with social media back in the days. Even with email, I remember when email first came out. We didn't have email. We didn't even have credit. We were spending cash. They didn't even have credit cards. But now you got credit cards, you got email, you got all this technology going on, and then you got social media, all these avenues. You got Google, you got all kind of search engines where if you need to know something, you can get it by, a click of a finger, whatever the case may be. What I'm saying is that financial literacy is very important when you're doing business. It's very important. And we need to start teaching our kids at a younger age about financial literacy. And we brought this brother on right here because to tell you his story, because the story is very different. Like he tell you, 1 minute he was doing this, playing ball, went into personal training. His family was in real estate. Sister was a doctor, and he just kept pivoting and pivoting. COVID hit him. He went virtual. He came up with an idea. All this stuff is all stepping stones to the man he is today. And we need to share these stories as black men, you know what I'm saying? Because this inspires another young black guy to say, you know what? You see how he grinded to get to the top? I can do that too. This is very informative, and we need to pay attention to this type of interview because everybody that comes on here is all about their story. And he has a hell of a story. In the beginning, y'all ain't see that coming. You just throw this guy trainer, because we do support people that strive for success. But my man doing some big things out there in the community, man. So what's going on with you right now that you're proud of that's doing very well?
Oh, well, the next thing, I got an event going on next week for business owners. It's called Summer Vibes Brunch. That's going to be in Long Island, New York, and at Lux Library. So it's dope because now I've just been speaking more and really teaching people how to go about it as far as with their business. So my whole thing is to work smarter, not harder. And once I even found out in the Bible in Proverbs, that's what made me even stand 10 toes on it. Because I think a lot of times we have this Superman, Superwoman syndrome when it comes to building our business where we just cut everybody out. And you can do that, but what's the trade-off? What's the
Can you share that, not to cut you up, that Proverbs verse?
I just found it like a couple weeks ago. I don't remember the exact one, but that's something that showed me. But
so what did it mean to you, being that you can't remember what it said?
It meant to me that there is another way to go about it. Like you want to use wisdom more than anything. And I think that was the biggest thing that that made Solomon who he is as well. So I'm really big on my spirituality and understanding that everything is not enforced. Not like I'm just going put my head down and just run. Like you want to be led.
Right.
And once I started operating that way, work became more easier to me. Opportunities has been coming, and just even an opportunity to be with you guys this night that just came to me. I didn't have to work for it. I put in the work already, but it wasn't like a grind.
Thank you for the coming to the show, guys.
No problem.
You know what I mean? For real, man.
So you said the biggest part of people trusting you about, okay, I'm bringing my business here. I need you, my credit can handle, that come with socials and everything like that. So, and I know you said the price, you don't have to tell exactly how much your price is, but I know you said you started off real low with the gym, the $6. So, because I'm pretty sure price always make people comfortable. Like, like they standoffish, but you're like, okay, you got good prices to help somebody with the business. I know that help people a lot to pull in.
I took a course. The course I took, it was $30K for a coaching course. And when I say that course changed my life as well, I got my ROI in like 30 days when I learned how to do it. And I took that for training. But I took the things I learned from that course, I can never unlearn. And the one thing that always stuck out to me is when value is presented, price doesn't matter. And that happens a lot in our regular lives that we don't even notice.
Say that again.
When value is presented, price doesn't matter.
That's right. That's facts.
Because the person, you just changing their reality. They have a current reality and they have the preferred reality. If you can get them there faster, then that's what you win at. So a practical example is when, you go outside, you go to a club, they have the VIP line to get in the sections, or they have the general line. And you looking at it like, I'm not trying to wait out here. I want to pay whatever it is to get inside.
Right.
And that's just the type of person that you are. You feel like you deserve your time. Like your time is more valuable to you. So in the same thing when it comes down to business, that's what I teach business owners, that when you present the value, you present the result, and you help with the speed, the people are going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from being the $6. So now people is like, yo, if I'm paying him, top dollar, I know he's going to get it done. Right. And we got the results. So, the proof is in the pudding, but you don't want to just jump out the gate. Now, I wouldn't say I jumped out the gate. You want to be able to test what you're doing out first. So I always tell people, do something for free, do something from half off, make sure your work is good. Yeah. And then as you present your value, now nobody can say nothing.
So I think the biggest thing with most people, I think the most attractive thing is speed.
Yeah.
You tell somebody, well, I could get you to 30 days. They're like, all right, so I can get 50,000 in 30 days. Yeah. So I think that's why.
He said it really took 1 week, but he didn't want to tell him. I'm just throwing in.
And that's the thing where when it comes down to your marketing, you want to, under deliver, over promise. That's another gem that I learned.
Right.
And you really want to see what's their alternative. Because if your alternative is that you got to wait a year, then how much money are you missing out on? Right. It's not really how much you pay for something, it's what are you getting from it. And when you shift your mentality to think that way, you like, I ain't worried about it. Because if somebody come to you right now and say, I got this Lambo for 50,000, I'm just trying to get rid of it. If you don't even have 50, you're going to find a way to get 50 because you know what it's worth.
Right. Yeah,
so it's pretty much understanding the value of things, not just the cost of
it. Yeah. That's a deep message you got there, because as a trainer, we do a consultation with the client, and stuff like that. In a consultation, it's to learn the client, understand what their needs are and stuff like that. If they got any medical history with, injuries, you can't just, train everybody. You don't check all that out for, lawsuit purposes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, once you prove to a person that you can get them results, they pay anything.
That's the thing.
Yeah. You understand? You can't make a person think you after their money. Everything is always the money, but but the results last because they get turned off.
Yeah.
That's when the trust thing he talking about. Cause you're like, hey, you said about it's gonna cost me 25,000 like 5 times in like 10 minutes. Like he chasing money.
Yeah.
But if you telling him the blueprint to get to that, but it's gonna cost that later, you got them all day. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I got successful. Because when I first started, it's called selling, right? It's all sales. You make a person think you chasing their money, you ain't gonna make no money. Once you think you're doing something for them, and they're gonna get some benefits from it. So, do you travel for this?
No, I don't have to travel unless I'm doing an event.
Okay.
So I literally could do. That's why it's a blessing too, because it's location freedom. As long as I got Wi-Fi, then we could work.
Right.
And also to go back to what you said, what I teach people too is how to identify their target market. So when you identify your target market, you know the pains of your client. You know what they're dealing with. You know the outcomes that they want. So most people are trying to be, the generalist. They want to help everybody. which is okay, but that's not going to put you in the best position possible.
Mhm.
So, for a doctor, for example, the specialist doctor would make way more than a general doctor.
Right.
Why? Because he has the same type of clientele. They know they're going to get the result from getting, their foot, situated, or if they have these bad headaches. So you want to put yourself in a position in the marketplace to figure out if you want to be a specialist or you want to be a generalist. Either one, you can still make money,
Mhm.
but it's going to be a different type of clientele that you're going to be attracting.
Mhm.
And I tell people the example of, Spirit versus Delta. You could get a Spirit flight cheap. A lot of people, want to pay that, but they tax on as you keep going. But the service is not going to be the same.
Not at all.
So if you want to worry, if you worry about your plane landing,
Right.
then you will go to Spirit. But
Yeah.
if you want to be secured and feel like you service like you somebody,
Right.
then you go to Delta.
That's just like getting on the Greyhound and getting on a Chinese bus.
Yeah, exactly.
The Chinese bus, they smoking bag.
Spirit,
They smoking weed. They go past the Henny. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to get down there for $30.
But the thing, like he said with Spirit, one, they ain't give you no snacks. That's number one.
They ain't got no monitor.
And then they give you no snacks, but then
That's messed up.
it adds up. Because they baggage, I think, is like $70 compared to other bags, $35.
Like he said, anything that you
So
get
it
extra
looks
is a
good.
charge.
It looks good when you first hit when you about to pay.
Yeah.
When you hit confirm your flight,
Mhm.
it looks good. Like, damn, I done paid $328
Round trip.
round trip. They wanted $375,
One way.
$380. But then by the time all these little fees come in, then it's like, damn, I should have just went there.
And they know their target market. They know people that want to get it, just want to get there in the cheapest way. They don't really care about the comfort. They don't care about the service. They don't care about the extra, additives.
Yeah.
So, and the flip side with Delta is that you feel great, but you don't realize you pay for these things.
Mhm.
So you sit in first class, the water's already there.
Right.
They give you the headphones for free.
Right.
It's something you already paid for, but you feel good about it because you're like, you know what, I deserve this.
Right.
So once I started learning marketing, it's more about psychology and the psychographics, not just the demographics. Most people say, I work with people from 20 to 40 and they live in this location. But that's not really detailed enough to know. You want to know how your client thinks.
Mhm.
What do they do when they're not with you? Who else they spend money with?
Mhm.
And that's when you become a force. And that's when you really become Apple. Apple is genius how they control us from wake up until ending.
Oh, crap.
So
From the iPhone
Yeah.
1 to the iPhone 17.
yeah. And every year he says the same thing. And it's like, this is the best phone, the fastest phone ever. And they've been saying for the last 16 years.
Yeah. Every year.
And
Or every 8 months they come out with a new one.
Yeah. And we just, we trapped in the system because we got we got
It's
laptop.
called the Matrix.
Yeah, we got Apple Music, we got Apple Watch, all of these different things. And then you get in the car, now you got Apple CarPlay. So that's how I try to model my business after of being Amex, being Apple, being Delta, because I like how they position in the marketplace and I'm a big consumer.
Mhm.
So as our people, we start asking, why do we buy these certain things? And if you could dissect that, then you want to be able to implement that in your business.
Mhm. So you say you partnered with Chase.
Yeah.
So how's that going?
Oh, it's going great. So good they try to hire me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was like, nah, I'm gonna keep my business.
What kind of position they try to give you?
I'm not even sure. It was just something that I'm like, if I gotta give up what I'm building, I'm not with it.
Right.
So I appreciated the offer.
Mhm.
Because they the number one in the country, number one in the world.
Right.
But I'm like, nah, this is what I'm building here.
Yeah.
So but we do events with them. I do events with them for the community. So we do free events for
Kind of events.
for small business owners, financial literacy.
Mhm.
So we teach a lot how to get the capital. Chase reps will tell you themselves what's gonna get you approved, how to get your business certified, NWBE or MBE,
Mhm.
which is
Okay.
minority business enterprise.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of information in the game that we've been given, and it's been a great partnership because they need businesses like mine to have that trust factor because their goal is to close the wealth gap.
Right.
But a lot of people don't trust Chase because they feel like, what is Chase going to do for me unless I don't have no money?
Mhm.
So they partner with a lot of small business owners, who they seem that's quality in the community, and then that's how we coincide.
That's all right. So if people want to get in touch with you and they want to get your services, how would they get at you?
Oh, they can go to KB the Trainer on my Instagram. So my Instagram is still KB the Trainer because I bought the trademark.
Right.
And that's how everybody know me. So I'm like, I'm not changing that. And also Infinite Wealth. Infinite Wealth is my company, Infinite Wealth Strategies. So they go to infinitewealthstrategies LLC.com.
Mhm.
And I do free consultations with people. So free consultation to see if they, qualified. If they're not qualified, then I put them in position to get qualified.
So if y'all want to give my man KB, y'all heard the interview. This guy here doing some big things in the community. Y'all get at him. He gave you the links and stuff like that. But before you go, brother, can you tell him what the #1 podcast show in Harlem, man?
Oh, definitely the beat 139.
The Beat 139, y'all know what it is.
Thank you for coming to the show, brother.
No problem.
Thank you for coming to the show. KB, y'all was clapping.
We got another guest, so don't take a
We'll
little
be back
coffee
in
break.
5 minutes. We got our second guest. Sorry for the delay. We had technical difficulties.